Up steps Mercedes Easley as she looks to score Team Wales's women's first goal of this tournament. Here she comes.
She is an absolute bundle of joy. I don't think she'll ever recover from that.
Let me cross my legs on. My name is Mercedes Easley. I'm 19 years old from RCT and I am going to the Homeless World Cup with Street Football Wales.
How would people describe you?
A caring idiot.
I would describe Mercedes as a lovely team player. She's always been there for all of her friends as well. Like, she's absolutely crazy.
Honestly, I'm quite entertaining. I'm very caring unless I don't like you.
First time I met Mercedes was when I was 3 years old, playing football and rugby. And because she's such a competitive spirit and so am I, we did not like each other. Like, every time she'd have the ball, I'd slide tackle her. Every time I'd have the ball, she'd slide tackle me. And we ended up fighting. Like, we ended up actually rugby tackling each other, even without the ball in our hands. And then, since that day, like, being on the same team, we gained a friendship from that. Yeah, she's been my best friend ever since.
Growing up, it was a bit tough. I got 4 sisters and 2 brothers. I'm the middle, so there's 3 older, 3 younger. Yeah, I do think I have middle child syndrome. I always kept getting blamed for stuff growing up, even though I weren't there half the time. But yeah, it was a bit difficult.
Family that she lived with, she doesn't really get along with them because they always have like conflict. It's not a strong relationship at all.
It's made me believe that I'm on my own, but also I'm always the one there for people, even if they're not here for me back. I'm used to that by now. I want them to be proud of me for doing this. At the same time, I don't really want them to see this just because I don't want them thinking of me any differently even more. So a funny story about my back garden where I used to live. So can you see where the shutters are? That's the back garden where I used to live. And when I had a dog, someone tried climbing over the fence, over it, and tried stealing some stuff. But as soon as they seen my dog tried ripping their legs off, but it didn't work. So they never came back ever since. We came here mostly because in front of the park is the football pitch where I first ever played football as a kid around about 3 years old. When I was younger, my brother was in football, my older sister was in football, but then also I had like a passion for the game growing up anyway, so I wanted to play with the ball, wanted to watch my brother play. So my grandfather got me into football. He was honestly such an amazing person. He was so caring. I think I follow my grandfather with some aspects because he always wanted other people happy. I felt overlooked being a middle child, but whenever I was with my grandfather, it never felt like that. So he was always one that made me feel more comfortable. He used to put the football on for me and my brother. We were sat on the settee. He used to have the recliner ones, so the ones you just pull. And when it came to half time, he used to go make us some food. Just coming back with drinks, sweets, everything. They were the best. Like, I can't fault it. Every Christmas we always went to a pantomime, so just a Christmas show. And I think at the time it was either Wizard of Oz or Cinderella. I can't remember which one it was, but we went up to my grandfather's. The door was unlocked. We went in, but no sign of my grandfather at all. And it was a bit strange that he left his door unlocked while being there. So we just went up to where the pantomime was shown, and it was at the top of his hill. So we thought, oh yeah, he'd be turning up late or something. But he never turned up, and we kept going up there for a couple of days. He was a no-show, so we wanted the police to know. But yeah, we couldn't find him. We found out that well, it's hard to say because he did end up killing himself, and I can't really talk about it as much as that because it is a very personal topic and it will make me crazy.
Yeah, she was very close with her granddad. He was like one of the only people she could talk to about things. And when she lost him, she was in pieces. Like, she spiraled into a deep depression. Like, it was so hard to see her like that. Every day was about her granddad. Like, we'd talk about him and she'd always end up crying because her granddad was her best friend. I don't think she'll ever recover from that.
He would honestly be so thrilled about me going to Sacramento. I just want him to be looking down proud of like how far I've come. So that kit is my AFC post when I was on the team under 16s. We beat the best team in the league and we celebrated so much. Oh, it was just the best feeling. So I stopped football, not because I didn't want to, but it was because of the floods first. So the pitches were waterlogged, but then also COVID came around. So our team folded then. We always wanted to go back to football, but I didn't have the time to, or I didn't have the motivation to go find a new team. So I was homeless for about 9.5 months. Basically, I never see my mother, like never at all, but I went down there for a week with my older sister and then I had a phone call off my dad and my stepmother asking me if I knew who my sister was, my younger one, and she didn't want my dad and my stepmother to pick her up. So I had my mother to go down and grab her, and when we went back home, my dad blamed me for going missing, trying to get my sister in contact with my mother. Everything kicked off that night and ended up getting kicked out. When I was living with my mother, the reason I got kicked out of there is because my sister came back with a swollen ankle. Well, I gave her a choice about going to the hospital or not. And I told them that she's too young to like be given a choice. I had to go up my mother for that, and I said, you've got to step up and be a mother because you haven't been in our lives for the majority of our upbringing. My stepdad was constantly on my back about saying all that, but he was being really creepy to me at the time. And when I told my mother about that, she kept saying it was his personality. So at that point, I lost my head. So this is a bit too much information, but I tried jumping off the roof of my mother's house. Honestly, I weren't thinking at all. It was just seeing my sister's face. I think that's what made me realise that I can't do it. And I just went up to the forest instead and tried walking around. So after that, I told him to leave me alone. I wanted to like clear my head. And as soon as I went back down, all my stuff was out. And my mother chose her boyfriend over me. She was at her darkest time because obviously you go from a family all around you and then you go to nothing. Yeah, she's gone through a lot. Luckily I got into the hostel in Ponty. The hostel actually made me quite happy, like a lot more happier than when I was back home, like fighting everything. A couple of the boys that I was good friends with, we used to just hang out, watch the football when the Euros were on. It meant a lot because then I knew I had some friends I could rely on. Her family have left a scar on her that will never go away, but with the right people around her, she can gradually like get over it and she'll be a new person. It gave me the motivation that I can do it myself, but also the relationships I had with the support workers, I wouldn't change it for the world. They were all the nicest people. One of my support workers, Gail, found out about football for me. I was nervous at first because obviously I was the only girl here apart from Sian and Caitlin.
So my name is Sian Cousins and I am the women's coach for Street Football Wales. Street Football Wales is a charity that supports vulnerable adults from across the whole of Wales. We offer football sessions weekly to engage with them, but we look to offer support a lot more than just on the pitch, but off the pitch with various personal problems, and hopefully we get them on a better path to deal with those situations and manage themselves better.
Honestly, it felt really good to be back because I missed it so much due to COVID and the floods. So getting my feet back onto a ball, I knew instantly that's what I was meant to do. It gives me a lot more confidence, helps with my mental health, and also gets me out of the house. Because other than football, I don't really get out of the house to see anyone. I've grown much more to like myself, but also I can rely on other people to help me throughout the way.
She is an absolute bundle of joy. She is one of our youngest players. She's had a lot of experiences for such a young girl, and I think you can tell that on the pitch. She's so empathetic towards other people. She's just crazy. She's this ball of energy that she just, once she gets to start running, which she'll tell you she doesn't often run, but once she starts, she won't stop, and she'll do everything she can for every player on that pitch.
And to be fair, if we're all dead, I'll call it earlier anyway. So that's fine. So
I'm dead.
No, we're not.
I'm sweating my heart away. Yeah. Sian has had a really big impact in how I see football. She's always been the one that joins in, but also she makes everyone laugh. Whenever someone's having a bad day, she cheers them up, brightens the mood. Even if I don't want to be laughing, she makes me laugh. No amount of praise is going to justify how much she's been there for all of us.
Say out the balls, but there you tackle.
Oh, I love Ropers. Yeah, Ropers is honestly such an amazing girl.
So I've been involved in Street Football Wales for about 5 years, and I was in a bit of a dark place when I first joined, as I'd just come out of rehab and I hadn't had any friends around. It helped me a lot. It was a focus. It gave me something to do. It built my confidence. It built my friends, my community around me, and my fitness as well, all in one.
Ropers is always going to be that one that shows you will be able to do it if you put your mind to it. Honestly, she's an inspiration.
The Homeless World Cup is a tournament that is run by the Homeless World Cup Foundation, all street football associations that are affiliated to the Homeless World Cup Foundation. They can apply every year. There's certain criteria, so they ask that you're either homeless, you're a refugee, you work full-time as a street paper vendor, or that you've been kind of supported with any addiction problems. It is a football tournament, but they want it to be a reason for players to go away and get their lives back on track.
I would describe the Homeless World Cup as very emotional, very intense, but also one of the best experiences that I've ever done.
It's been a big motivation because I didn't think I'd actually be good enough to get picked. I'm nervous, but yet again, I'm excited. But I want to meet new people, so that's one thing I'm looking forward to.
On the boys. Right, did you think how
What can they expect, and what would be the advice that you'd give them? Just to enjoy every single second of it, no matter whether you win, lose, draw, you're crying, you're laughing. Take every single thing with a pinch of salt. Your expectations of it are going to be completely different to actually what happens. But you'll never look back and think that you regret any of the decisions that you've made, because they're all going to be based around something positive, which you love doing. And the people that you meet out there, you'll hear some stories that you'll never, ever think that you'd have heard before. And yeah, just don't waste a second of your time there, because you'll never get this opportunity again, really. It's literally a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Steps Mercedes Easley as she looks to score Team Wales's women's first goal of this tournament. Here she comes, and she snaps it home. Great save by Mercedes Easley. There's a lovely play there by Wales's number 7. Oh, that is absolutely fantastic. Oh, what a hit by Mercedes Easley. one. There's two. Hat-trick for Easley. Could it be a fourth? Yes! 5 goals for Mercedes Easley. 10 games, Wales's top goal scorer. What a tournament for Easley. Couldn't write it better than that. Mercedes Easley, take a bow.
I wish I was still there. It's nice to be home, back with family, friends, but being out there, meeting new people, I miss it. I've got so many good memories up Llanwino Mountain. It's where we spread my grandfather's ashes. It meant a lot to me playing for Wales because my grandfather was obviously the one that introduced me to football, and I just wanted to prove to him that I can do it. My family did watch a couple of the games and they did text me, well done, and congratulations, and that they all were proud of me. I've never felt like I had them supporting me as much as they did through the tournament. So the main lesson I've learned, trust your guts, trust your instincts, but also believe in everyone else around you. It might be hard to do that from the start, but you won't regret it.